Hi everybody, it's Joel Marshall and I am here with LearnMyComputer.com, and today we're going to learn about how to plug in a flash drive and access the space on the flash drive to save things to it or to copy things from it. And this is a USB flash drive, meaning that it has a port connector here that is a USB port. Stands for Universal Serial Bus. Really what it means is that this universally connects to most computers, Macs or PCs. Most computers these days have a universal serial bus port on it. And you'll see here we have a MacBook. And if I turn it around here, you'll see there's a bunch of ports along the side here. These two ports are USB ports. They're universal serial bus ports. You never have to say universal serial bus again. Just say USB. Most people know what that is. And I'm going to go ahead and just plug this into there. And you see it just sticks right in there. And now you have a little tiny hard drive that you can copy files to and then unplug and take with you. One thing that I want to note is there is a right side up and a wrong side up. This is the right side up. But if I try and plug it in while it's upside down, it won't go because it's different one way than it is the other way. And you can see there are little plastic items inside these ports if you look at them closely. I usually try and put the brand name. A lot of times the drive will have the brand name on the top. That's usually the top. Some of them also have a little USB symbol on the top, and that usually indicates. But you know, if you have one of these, you kind of get used to what's right side up and what's wrong side up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in there, and I'm ready to go. Now we're going to look on the computer and see how we find this and how we use it. Okay, now we're on the desktop, and you'll see over here I have a white icon that says USB drive. That is the USB drive that I plugged in. It could have a totally different name. Every USB drive can have its own unique name that you give it. And in fact, I could change the name of this right now, just like I would change a folder name. I could call it Joel's Drive. And I just changed the name. So you see it could have any name. And the distinguishing characteristic is this white drive icon, and that is a mounted drive. We can talk more about that, but just know that that's often what a USB drive looks like. Sometimes they have a different icon. But I'm going to double click on that, and you'll see that I get a Finder window, just like when I click on a folder or any other kind of drive. And it's empty, so Joel's drive is empty. And let's say I wanted to put some of my files onto this flash drive so that I could take them to another computer. Well, over here I have Joel's folder. And I've got some files in there. And let's say I want to put the whole folder into Joel's drive. And so I just drag it, and you see that plus sign? That plus sign means that it is just copying my folder, so it's not removing it from the computer. Whenever I have a drive that's plugged into the computer, when I drag something to it, it will just copy it and place it there. And you'll see this little copy window that shows you how long it's going to take. Usually it estimates how long it will take, and then this blue bar goes across while it copies all the data from the computer to the drive. And depending on the drive speed, depending on your computer's speed, you will have different lengths of time. Right now it says less than a minute. Sometimes it's right, sometimes less than a minute seems a lot longer than a minute. Now it says it's going to be about 10 seconds, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it says 5 seconds. There you go. So that didn't take too long, and you'll see if I twirl this down, you'll be able to see the files that were in that folder. And now they're copied onto Joel's drive. If you look at Joel's folder over here, the original one, you have the same files there, so they were just copied. And now I have, this could be a backup of these files. I can back up my files to the drives and put them in a safety deposit box if I want. If I have some really important documents that I want to keep, I can put them on a flash drive. You'll see down at the bottom it tells me how many items are in the flash drive and that I have 15.69 gigabytes available. That's quite a lot of space. So I can put a lot of stuff on this little tiny flash drive. Anyway, so now that's closed. And now one other thing about flash drives is before you unplug them, you have to eject them. Otherwise, you'll get a message that tells you that you ejected it improperly. So I'll show you how to eject it. I just click and I drag it all the way down to here, and you'll see that my trash can has now turned to a little arrow, and that's an eject arrow. If I let go, you'll see there's the trash can. But when I click and drag this, it changes to this arrow because I'm not really throwing it out. I'm not trashing these files. I'm just ejecting the USB drive. And it's confusing because it says trash, but we're not trashing it. I'm going to let go. And it will eject in a moment. See how it's gone. So now I can unplug it, and I'm unplugging it right now. You can't see that, but I'm plugging the drive, and I can take it wherever I want to go. And when I get to the destination computer, I can plug that drive back in, and it mounts on the computer. You see, now it is mounted, and you'll see there's Joel's folder and the files therein. Now I'm going to show you this once. I don't like doing this because it's not good for the drives a lot of times, but I want to show you what happens if I just unplug the drive. And this, this will happen to you. It's not the end of the world, but if you want to preserve your data, it's a good idea not to just pull the drive out without ejecting it. And there is the error message that happens. The disk was not ejected properly. If possible, always eject a disk before unplugging it or turning it off. This just gives the computer a chance to finish up whatever it might be doing with the drive. Maybe it's copying files to the drive or doing something else. It gives it a chance to say, hey, wait a minute, don't pull that drive out yet if you eject it while something's going on. So just a note. It's not really that scary, but this stop sign with the exclamation point can be kind of frightening sometimes. So I'm just going to click OK. And you'll see if I plug the drive back in to the computer, everything will be just fine. And there it is. It mounts back up. Okay. So there we have it. That is the USB drive. If you have any questions or comments, please email me at joel@learnmycomputer.com. That's joel@learnmycomputer.com, and I will see you next week.